Hi everyone. Today we're going to be looking at some basic video editing in YouTube. So what you want to do when you go to edit a video is you need to get to this screen here, and in order to get there you want to be at your video manager, and in order to get to your video manager you can get there through your Creator Studio. Just click on that. It will bring up this menu over here. Click on Video Manager, it'll get you here. So if I want to edit this video, these are all my choices for editing. There are really a lot of different things you can do when you go to edit videos. You can certainly use more advanced video editing software, which you can buy or find on your computer. However, YouTube has actually added a lot of editing features, even just over the past few months. By the time some of you are watching this, maybe the past couple of years, I don't know. That's really helpful for people who want to edit videos. So if you want to edit the basic information and settings, you can change the title here. You can give a description of it here. You can tag it. You can add a message to it if you want. You can change whether it's public, unlisted, or private. Whoops. And then you want to click Save Changes when you're done making changes to it. You can add some enhancements. We better click Save Changes, even though I didn't do anything, but just to get in the habit. So click Enhancements. Now Enhancements is really neat because
teachers often
it'll
ask
show
me
you
what I do.
what the original video is, plus it'll show you a preview of the new video based on how you've edited. And just to take a few looks, you can click Autofix, and that'll do lighting and color for you. Now, just so you have an idea about this, it's going to take a little time after you click this for it to actually process. So if you click Autofix, it may do something to the lighting, to the color, and then maybe you want to go back and do something else later. You've got to just kind of do, with these editings, you've got to do probably one thing at a time. So you click Autofix, it'll give you kind of a preview
when I record my lessons
of what it will look like, but it's not going to do it for you until you see. Click Stabilize, so if you've got some shaky camera motions, again, that'll take a little bit of time. Or instead of the automatically, you can change it to how much light, how much saturation, contrast, color. You can play with those things. You can make it into slow motion, okay, if you want to do that. One part that I find particularly useful is this trim feature. So if you click on trim, it will give you the option to cut your video up. You can drag this to start the video later, so it'll just take off the beginning point, and let's say here started at 52 seconds. I'll put that back. You can drag this to cut off the ending of a video. This is useful if a kiddo jumps in the way and then you shut the video off right after that. It's useful if something comes over the intercom and you catch it and are able to shut the video off and you just cut that back part off. That's how I often do my editing when I need to cut pieces of video off the end, and I will be recording. I hear something, some disruption, stop the video immediately. That becomes part one of the recording. Once the disruption is passed, I start the video again, and then I do part two of the recording. So that's how I usually do it. So I'm used to just kind of chopping off endings. However, one great feature YouTube has now added is this split feature. So maybe you want to split the video here. You can't split near the beginning or end of the clip, so we gotta take a look at that, see how that works. There we go. So you can move this little marker here. So let's say you move it to 37 seconds. Maybe you want to split it. You can split the clip at that position. Okay, and then you could work just on that clip. You could cut that piece out if you wanted to, or you could work on editing that piece if you needed to. Maybe you had a disruption in the middle that you didn't catch and you wanted to cut that piece out. So that's kind of a more advanced piece that's been added, and that if you think you're going to be doing some editing on here, I'd encourage you to play with it a little bit and see how it works and if it is helpful to you. And I'm just going to delete that split because, oh, actually that deleted the whole clip. I don't want to do that. I'm just going to clear that. So if you mess it up, it's okay. You just click this clear, this clear button here where the trash can is. This isn't going to throw your video in the trash. It's going to throw all your edits in the trash. So that's what you want to do if you need to. But again, that feature is a great feature. When you're finished with it, you just click done, and that will save the changes for you. Now, I'm not actually making any changes to this one here, but if I were, I'd click done. Now, this is a way that you can combine multiple clips and publish new videos. So this is where you could take multiple clips from video and then put it together to make new videos. So we're not going to get into that now, but if this is something that you want to try, I would encourage you, click right here and go for it. If you have some videos you want to edit and work with that way. Other things that you can work with are the audio. So
teachers often ask.
You can add music if you want to. And all of this music is ad-free and it's acceptable to use, so you're not stealing anything. It's for common use, which is nice. And then you can save it as a new video, or you can go back to the original video and just click save when you're done. You can add annotations. This is useful.
Teachers often.
This is useful if you want to explain something that maybe you didn't say in your video, or maybe, let's say you're working on math, you want to provide a formula or something that people can see. You know, maybe you're saying pi r squared or something, but just saying pi r squared might sound like gibberish to a lot of people, so maybe you want to type that into an annotation. You can add an annotation. Let's say I want to add it to here. Okay, maybe I just want to say I like my document camera or something. I don't know. I'm just saying I can add a speech bubble. I can add a note. I can give it a title, spotlight, or a label. Okay, and I would encourage you to take a look at each of these pieces because they'll each have a little bit different effect on your video. So if you think that you're going to be doing some annotating, you know, have a video that you're working with that you can play with these different features because, you know, you may find that the speech bubble, for example, is better than, let's say, a label. On the other hand, maybe you find the speech bubble to be disruptive, and just a simple title is perfect. So you go ahead and let's just say speech bubble, and look, you can move it around on your video, okay, and you could type in whatever it is you wanted to type in there. You type it in this box here. I love using the document camera. Okay, and it would go right in there. And then if you need to make it bigger, you can. If you need to shrink the font, change the color, you got a couple of choices, black and white, but you got a choice of a different color fill. You can do that to match your colors in your video. I mean, just this piece alone is quite extensive. You can link it up, so you see some of the videos sometimes where advertisements will come up. Go watch thus and such a video. Well, they've put a link to that. So if you want to link it, I could say, instead of I love using the document camera, I could say go visit the transparency project. And then what I could do is I'm going to link that up to www.transparencyproject.com. Okay, and that will link that up. And you might need the HTTP in there too. So the best thing is just to cut and paste from your browser. But either way, it'll go in there, and can open the link in a new window if I want. So my video will still run, and the transparency project will pop up all ready for people to use after that. So I mean, there's some pretty creative stuff you can do. The one thing with annotations is they can get in the way of your video. So if I had this link popping up everywhere all throughout my video, see here I have it, it's like for 15 seconds or something. You can set the start time and the end time. Maybe I want it from the beginning to the end of my video. Well, and if it's just sitting in the corner, it's probably not going to be too awfully disruptive. However, these kind of things can get quite annoying if you've ever experienced videos that have text overlaid on them, especially if they're like really big. You know, it's hard to even watch the video that way. but that is something that a lot of people will do. So you just wanna pay attention to that this isn't taking away from your video, but it is a very, very useful tool. Especially maybe you forgot to say something, you can go back and add. You can add in an annotation. Maybe you decide you don't want it, throw it in the trash. Okay, just like that. Just click the trash and that's it. And then again, after you're done, you click save. I didn't do anything, so. All right, subtitles and closed captions. What language is most spoken in the video? It's English. That is the default language, so I'm going to set the language. Okay, and then you can play around with this. I don't know how well it will work for you, but you can give it a try and see if it's useful or not to add subtitles and closed captions. And you can change the language too if you're a Spanish speaker or French or another language that you might be using. So these are all the different ways that you can basically edit and annotate a video. Again, when you're finished something, just remember to click save or publish.
So teachers often ask me.
Okay, to make sure that everything's saved that way. And once more, if you're making enhancements, just give it some time to.
So teachers often
give it some time to do that. So what I would encourage you to do at this point is just choose a video that you can edit. Maybe just make something short and put it up on your YouTube channel and play with it. See what you can do with it. See what works for you. See what doesn't work for you. See if this YouTube editor is sufficient for the purposes that you're trying to accomplish. Because if it's not, you may want to look at some other video editing software down the road. But this one is good in a pinch, and it's great for just chopping the end off and creating those part 1, part 2, part 3 videos if you kind of get in the habit of setting things up that way. But I would say your job for this week, and maybe even into next week too, is just take some time and work with these edits, see what you can come up with, and think about how it might be helpful to you and what you're doing in your classroom. So good luck with your editing, and I hope you enjoy.